Hello? Is there anyone else? Is there anyone there? Sorry. So, it's the last day of this year, and it's also 10th video regarding all this programming and stuff. Still, there is no single person who would be interested in checking all of them, but I also understand the fact that it's because I'm not asking anyone to check it. I think it's sort of boring. So, all these experiments are still just for my own sake. I don't know where I finished last time. It was probably with something with jumping, and it was kind of cool. And I decided, like, what else can I try to add some variety, you know? I was usually moving some shape on a screen, moving it using some rules, and that's about it. It doesn't mean that it's the only thing that you should be concerned about, and if you played any 2D game, like you know, a platformer style, like Super Mario, maybe Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, anything, you would see that beside gaming mechanics, movement and everything, there is really important aspect of mood and theme for the experience you got. And one side is actual art direction, beautiful images, pixel art or whatever, and the other things are more, I would say, fundamental to the way we look at things. I may be describing it a bit complicated, but bear with me. When we are looking in a far place, like you're standing in one point, we can even draw something, right? So for example, you're standing here and there is something like a mountain that is really far away. If you try to use your hands and make this rectangle sort of thing, like if you have a photo camera, then you can see that this mountain fits in lens of your camera so that you can make a photo, right? Also, there should be some things that are closer to you. I'm not sure what I'm drawing. For example, it's a building. It's not like you can go into it. No. I mean like a building that is 50 meters away from you. You can see it. It looks sort of big. To some degree, it looks similar in size to the mountain. But why does this happen? So the idea that we use to describe this effect is called perspective. When something is really far away, it looks really small. When you look at, for example, a sun, it's huge, it's much bigger than Earth, but the fact that it's so far away makes it small for us, because our eyes work like that and stuff. So let me... Why would I say all this? So for example, you're standing somewhere here. Oh, wait, why so... Oh... Nope. Maybe here? Nope. No, I don't know how to change it back. So okay, you're standing somewhere here, and you're looking onto multiple things. So these are buildings, and there is a mountain somewhere in the background. When you start to move into any direction, to the left or to the right, you would see that if you try to look at buildings and the mountain in one point, the building sort of like overlap with the mountain. Then when you move somewhere like here, you can see that buildings got to the left, while the mountain is pretty much in the same position. You could imagine it like if you're standing somewhere, you have two eyes that That's also a trick of visualizing parallel lines. Oh, interesting. Nope. So, for example, you decide to draw two parallel lines. When you do it in 2D, they are... Oh, just a second. So, these two parallel lines just should move one near the other, and that's it. No, I would say, intersection. But when you look in reality, like you have a road that is moving somewhere to horizon. Oh, I'm not sure that... Oh yeah, I see. Interesting. Seems like... Sorry, I just played around with volume on my keyboard. So, if you have two parallel lines, but if the end of them is somewhere far away, then you could sort of feel that like at some point they're intersecting. Just try to see a long street and see how it moves like this and this, and it's almost like intersects in the end. It's like an idea, because I have no way of describing it easily. You can experience it if you find a long straight road, for example, and you will see that it works like that. And in games, usually people want to achieve some sort of an illusion of depth, and we have multiple ways how to achieve it, and one of them is actually try to simulate this effect that some objects that are too far away are moving slower than objects that are much closer to us. And that's what I want to try to experiment today. What I have done already. So I took a code starter project, changed it to Perspectus. Yep, Perspectus Patronum. And added multiple images. So one of them is assets. Is this one. Yeah, it looks kind of weird, but who cares? And this is a mountain. So my plan is to draw all these things in a background and move them in a certain way so that I would feel that I have this effect of perspective. So let's give it a try. First thing first, I need a way to load image. Okay, it's player texture, right? Player texture. I want also mountain, things texture, and houses texture. Okay, they're marked as gray. They're grayed out because currently we have no code for actually loading them. Okay, so we have this batch. Let's add mountain. It will be new texture. It should be something like mountains PNG, and there should be place sprite. Okay, so I need texture and I need this mountains mouse sprite. Oh, interesting. No? Houses. Nice. So I have this texture. I set a filtering for it, because why not? We can experiment like what would change if we change this stuff, but a bit later. Then we have these mountains sprite. Node insert, new sprite, and mountains texture. So that's the first one, and the second one would be houses texture. That is new texture, and we have houses PNG. Then we have houses texture set filter. We use this something. What? I don't care. Windows is telling me that it burns my CPU because it thinks that it knows better how to provide security for my machine. That's adorable. So now we have this house this sprite and new sprite. New sprite, and here I want to see houses texture. Nice. So we have made all the code for loading images. Now we need to draw them. Interesting how we're gonna do this, because we have to use batch, we have to order it in a certain way. So first it's like layers of paint. First you draw something on the background and then you draw something in the foreground. So first things first should be the mountain. I have no idea where I want to draw it, but I definitely should apply sprite, set origin, center, set bounds. I have no clue like what all this should be about. So okay, let's use mountain sprite, set bounds. What is set bounds? Sets the position and size of the sprite when drawn before scaling and rotation are applied. If origin, rotation or scale are changed, it's slightly more efficient to set bounds after those operations. I have no idea what you're talking about, but it doesn't matter. I definitely need XY position and I need width and height. Let's check what we have here. Open. Do I have any info? Maybe? Okay. Oh my god. It's sort of 895, 378. Nice. It's okay. Maybe I want it to be like here. And then I want it to be 95. 378. So then I probably should do set origin. Oh, it's for rotation. I don't need it. I don't need this stuff. I just do draw. Nope, not here. Draw batch. Batch. If everything is done right, then I should see something on my screen. Looks decent. Well, not super decent, but yep. So what else we're gonna do? I wanted to move a bit to the top actually. Yeah, nice. And a bit to the center. Something like this should be enough. So yes, let's draw something with houses. I assume they are houses sprite, set bounds. It's 500 and 300. And what we got here? Nope, not what I wanted. It's 689 and 333. 689, 333. And I should draw using this command house sprite draw and using this batch object. Nice. What we're gonna see here? Well, it looks a bit weird, but kinda nice, actually. So, what I want to do now, my plan to play around with this with this perspective thing, I want to put my player thingy into the center, somewhere at the bottom of this third house. So I want it to be X position. Yep. No, I'm not sure. So this should be game state, right? Can I use this? It's public static class game state with this entity that is this probably. Okay, let's give it a shot. I don't want to think too much about that. And you can see nothing happened because reasons. Why so? Okay, it's because screen max width is it's set. Yep, it's 0, and it uses this value here. Okay, not what I want to do. Then I move it here. So let's give it again try. So that is what I was talking about. I can see my player is in the middle of the screen. So usually if you think about 3D games, your player is always at the center of the screen. Why so? Well, because it's sort of easier to keep focus. If even all the madness and jumping happens on a screen with multiple enemies and so on, you always sort of intuitively understand where your character is. You don't need additional attention to keep in your mind, like, oh, where on the screen now? My player would be in the left, in the right, in the top. No, it will be a bit lower than inner center. I mean, like, if we decide to check games like it doesn't work like that for 2D games usually, but if we decide to check something like Super Mario World, we can see that once it's running, you can see that it's in a center, right? It's the same length to the left and to the right, and that keeps it easier for a player to keep attention. Okay, so what are we doing now? Okay, I want my player always to stay at the same spot, so the starting position is fine, but also I sort of want to ignore the not this. I sort of want to ignore these things. So we will assume that we are moving only to the left and to the right, nothing else. Yep, should be correct. And when we change it, I mean, like, if we decided that we are trying to mimic the real world, there should be no easy way to move upper, because it would suppose that we are moving closer to objects. Oh, nice. We have some failure here. Runtime exception can't call getDirection method with 0 only arguments. That is sad. Okay. Agree. Let's do something with it. So we should remove these. It's like a way to ignore input if it doesn't. Yep, so to the left and to the right. I removed conditions that would say if there were none of important buttons pressed for movement, then ignore and do nothing. Because if I have x equals to 0 and y equals to 0, then this piece of code throws an exception. And that's how it's working right now. So let's think again. We have these rendering, and I want to set this thing. Doesn't actually matter, or matter. No, it probably matters. Let's keep it like that. So I want to say that we have these screen max widths. Nope. Max width. What I'm doing right now is saying that even if I'm moving to the left and to the right, I'm still drawing my player in the same spot. Why would I do this? Well, glad you asked. I'm going to move not my player, but I'm gonna move images in the background, trying to achieve this funny illusion of perspective and movement that is based not on movement on a screen, but on movement of everything around my player. So, how are we gonna achieve it? Let's see. So we have these X and Y positions. They probably should be... The Y position is the same all the time, but X position should be moved. So delta will be equals... Well, delta, I mean difference. So the what I want to do is when I'm moving to the left, I want this image to move a bit to the right, and this image too. I'm gonna calculate it based on player like state with this player position, yes, player X component, and I'm gonna calculate it based on the difference from the center of the screen, like this, minus player, nope, not this one, state player X. I said X. Hate it with passion. So the value is never used. Really? Where? Okay, there is already delta. Nice. So movement delta. And this one should be of an int? Nope. Probably should be float. If I have done everything correctly, then when I move to the left, everything here should move to the right, and vice versa. So if it's minus, it should be minus movement delta. And this should be 2. Well, let's find out. So the moment of truth. If I'm pressing left... Oh my god, it's not working as expected. No. It shouldn't be like that. It should be plus sign. Okay. The more you know. Okay. And again. When I'm moving to the right. Yeah. You sort of feel that you're moving relatively to the objects in the background. But we have an issue here. We're moving really fast, and the images stay on the same position, so it feels like they should be on the same plane, if it makes sense. I mean, like, we expect if things... Let me... It's weird. Oh, okay, text? No, it's not text. No. Can I reset it? Oh, it's style here. That's what I was missing. Okay. So let's... zoom in to fit to okay. I mean, if we think about these two lines, right? If we see one building and another one, we expect that when we move to the left or to the right, they are moving like together, right? Because if we would try to draw a line, it's sort of bad line, but I hope you got the idea. Yeah, something like this. And the same applies to stuff that is on the next line, if you can call it like that. So if you see that something is moving with the same speed, you intuitively think that they are on the same line in the bottom, like they're on the same line on the floor. And that's incorrect, because the mountain should be much further from our viewpoint. So let's try to fix it. So first thing first, I want to make it a little bit slower. So for example, I would divide it by 10. How slow would everything move then? Well, yep. Okay, I definitely should do something with collisions. It was too slow for my taste. Let's try to divide it by 5. Should be 2 times faster. Okay, yeah, feels right. At least when I'm looking at buildings. And now, what I'm planning to do for mountain, I wanna divide it by 2. So I want to move it slower. And with these mechanism, you should see. Yeah, it looks kind of neat, I would say. So, oh my god. Can I somehow turn it off? Not sure. My keyboard has a touchpad and I'm moving it with my hand all the time. So, I want to use here 4. And then I want to change the limitations for calculate player collisions. I don't need Y because I'm not changing it. And probably I can do something like this. Half side. So if it's max screen width, yep. If it's upside, I'm not sure that it would look decent, but I definitely think it would work. Okay, against borders. Let's give it a try. So I'm moving to the right. And you can see that I'm slowly moving away from this mountain view. And buildings are all in memories right now. So then I decided to go to the left. And I see that I'm reaching the houses. And I'm looking at this beautiful mountain. And then I go by the houses. And mountain is also somewhere. in my distant memories. That's it. I'm not sure that I need more explanations here, as you can add more like layers of images if you really think that would help you to play around with some ideas. All I wanted to show is that we can use the same mechanism that our eyes and brain use to feel the depth, feel the how to say the furtherness, like how far away our object or how close they are to us, even if we're not using any super realistic approach in our visual art style. That's it. Eh? Maybe we should move a bit faster. Like we are running. We can change it with this thing. And there is also a nice way how people add clouds. It also looks kind of neat. And you can definitely make multiple layers of clouds, so some of them are moving slower, some of them are moving faster. Okay, yep, looks smoothly. Okay, buildings are still somewhat far away, but not that far as the mountain goes. Yep, I like it. I would call it a day. So the thing that I need right now is to push all the changes and create the project for GitHub. Let's do it. So what we're gonna do now? New repository. It will be Perspectus. Yep. Small project to play with idea of visual perspective. Let's create. It's a public repository. Okay. Then, yep. This time, I guess you can be initiated in all those magical steps I do. So, git init. Nope. Git status, git add, git status again. I have multiple files. Commit, initial code. Okay, then I paste at origin. What else I've got here? This main branch. Nice. That's really important. Then this. As I have everything set up, my credentials for this account, I just do this and everything just works. Let's see it with our eyes. Yep. So that's it. If you ever wanted to play with these moving images and to play around this perspective, and you know how to draw something, because I'm definitely not a visual kind of guy and drawing on a computer is really difficult for me, you can do something like this. It shouldn't take too much time, and I would say kind of fun. So that's it for this year. I hope we can get back to this streaming and programming in new year, and I would find even more cool ideas of how we can approach interesting visual, gaming, interactive things in a way that is actually accessible and wouldn't require from you to have super huge knowledge of weird magical libraries that you can find on the internet. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best and the great health and all the great success in your doings in a new year. And just remember, have fun with the stuff you do. Bye bye.